Thank you very much, everybody, for joining me once again with my latest thoughts on the Pakistan cricket team and the world of cricket. I think first and foremost, I'd like to thank everybody for subscribing to my YouTube channel. Do spread the word. Really appreciate all the comments and the subscriptions from you guys. And thank you very much also for all the comments on Twitter that I get. Really appreciate it. Thank you for all the follows on Twitter. It's difficult to read all the comments every single day, but rest assured, I do try my best to read them, and it's greatly appreciated. So thank you very much for that. What are we going to talk about today? I think the main topic of conversation at the moment is Babar Azam and his captaincy. So look, there is absolutely no doubt about it. Babar Azam is one of the best players in the world at the moment. Some people say he's the best. That's questionable. He's amongst the best batters in all formats. Of that, there is absolutely no doubt. He's world class. His level of skills, the way he bats, there's no doubt about it. His credentials, his stats speak for themselves. So I can't fault his skill levels in batting. He's a genuinely world-class batsman. He's a nice guy. I've interviewed him in the past. He's very humble. He's very approachable. He's very friendly. So, I don't doubt his character at all. In terms of captaincy of Pakistan, maybe he's too nice. I think the best captains in Pakistan cricket over the years have been the guys who've had a little bit of a nasty and ruthless streak about them. Those guys who can grab players literally by the scruff of the neck, shake them up a little bit, and get them to perform better. I don't know whether Babar Azam has that in him. I think about Imran Khan, I think about Javed Miandad, and some of the other great captains that Pakistan has had. The best captains have always been the ones who can really get that team fired up, get the team united, get all those complex characters in the team together and playing to the best of their abilities. I'm not sure whether Babar Azam can do that or not. The World Cup squad. So, look, at the end of the day, this was Babar Azam's squad. He wanted those players in that squad. He stuck his neck out for them. He stood up for those guys. And whilst the head coach and the director of cricket, the chief selector, and other guys were suggesting to Babar Azam to make a couple of changes here and there to bring in some different personnel into the squad, Babar Azam stuck by that squad. So he put his neck on the line. He wanted that squad. He chose that squad. So he can't point the finger at the chief selector. He can't point the finger at Mickey Arthur. He can't point the finger at Grant Bradburn and saying, well, look, I wanted these 9 or 10 players, but these 5, 6 players I wasn't really sure about, but I was told that I have to select them. He picked those 15 players. He had to stand by them. And I'm afraid the squad just wasn't good enough. Got to point the finger at Babar Azam there, I'm afraid. His own batting at the World Cup. Look, as I say, there's no doubt about it. He's a wonderful batter to watch when he's at his best. 320 runs at the World Cup, average of 40. Yeah, you could say an average of 40 is barely acceptable. By his standards, it's pretty low. You'd be expecting a higher average than that. What really is frustrating and worrying is the strike rate of 82.90 that he achieved in the World Cup. He looked like a batter who was under pressure, who wasn't playing his natural game, who wanted to be out there and just play that anchor role and let others take the risks. I'm afraid it doesn't work like that. It's 2023. We can't afford to play that anchor role as if it's 1993. Maybe 30 years ago that would have worked, but in this modern day cricket, very few teams have that anchor role. And for the captain to be batting at the strike rate of 82.90 at the World Cup, despite his innings against New Zealand, it's just not good enough, really. It didn't look like he was enjoying his cricket. He didn't look like he was out there enjoying his batting. Yeah, we saw glimpses of brilliance from him with the bat, some lovely shots here and there, but we expect more from Babar Azam. Throughout the tournament, I got the impression he was under pressure. There were things on his mind. His mind seemed occupied with other issues. This wasn't the Babar Azam that we've seen over the years. This wasn't the Babar Azam that enjoys his batting, who goes out there and takes bowlers on and plays those lovely shots. We saw very few glimpses of his brilliance at this World Cup, and as I say, he looked like a guy who is not really focused on cricket, not really enjoying captaincy, I think is the bottom line. When you're not enjoying captaincy, then that affects your batting. And I think that's what happened with Babar Azam at this World Cup. Even at interviews, pre-match interviews, television interviews, post-match press conferences, he didn't look like a guy who was um, in control of his emotions almost. He seemed upset. He seemed withdrawn. You very rarely saw him happy or confident at those press conferences. And that was a reflection on how he led the team. He wasn't leading the team from the front. And he just, as I say, he didn't look focused, and he didn't look like somebody who was enjoying his cricket, which as a captain, if your body language isn't great, then that affects the players, because you've got to carry that team, whether the opposition are 100 for none or 12 for 3. You've got to have those players around you in your control. You've got to lead from the front. You've got to be the guy, the go-to guy. The players are watching you. The players on your side are looking at your body language. The opposition are looking at your body language as well. A skipper, if your body language is weak, if it's timid, the opposition, the best teams are going to pick up on that and think, all right, okay, their skipper's under pressure. He's struggling with his captaincy. He's struggling with his batting. We are going to take full advantage of that. And that's what teams did, I'm afraid. On the field, he didn't lead well. There was no, he wasn't proactive with his decisions. It was almost as if it's plan A, that's all that matters. We go with plan A, we stick with plan A. This bowler's going to bowl at this time. The spinners are going to bowl at this time. The pacers are going to come back at this time. And, it doesn't work like that. You've got to be flexible as a skipper. You've got to be proactive rather than reactive. And I'm afraid that Babar Azam throughout the tournament was reactive rather than proactive. If you look at some of the other captains in the tournament, they've taken risks, they've gambled, they've gone to plan B, plan C, plan D even at times. And they've thought out of the box, and I'm afraid Babar just doesn't think out of the box as captain. So to me, he's not a natural leader. Look, I'm not going to have a go at his character. Captaincy is difficult. Captaining Pakistan is a nightmare. We've seen so many players over the years, so many great players over the years succumb to the pressure of captaining Pakistan. Some of the biggest names in cricket, some of the greatest players for Pakistan have struggled to captain them. And I'll put Babar in that bracket of good players who struggle to captain Pakistan. It's complex characters in that dressing room. You've got big characters, you've got the quiet guys. So it's a variety of characters that you've got to get the best out of. And I'm afraid Babar Azam isn't getting the best out of his team. There was glaring errors throughout the tournament at key moments. At so many matches where you think, why have you done that, Babar? And that tight loss to South Africa, you've got to question his captaincy there as well. And I'm afraid at key times, as I say, he was found wanting as skipper. In my opinion, look, it's probably difficult for him to accept this, but I think he should step down as the ODI captain. The reason I say that, again, is nothing personal. I like Babar Azam. I think he's a wonderful batter. He's a nice guy. I've got nothing against him at all. But I think you've got to look at the wider picture. For Pakistan cricket and for Babar Azam, the batsman, it's better if Babar Azam steps down as ODI captain. Look, So many captains over the years for Pakistan have been shown the door. They've been kicked out, they've been sacked, and it's been horrible. It's been ugly the way it's been done. If I were Babar Azam now, yeah, maybe it's a difficult decision for him. Maybe he doesn't want to do that. Maybe he thinks it's embarrassing for him. Maybe he doesn't think it's the right thing to do. But I think he should take a few days, let him have his discussions with the PCB, the post World Cup inquisition that's expected, a review of the World Cup with the Pakistan Cricket Board. But I think he should then step down as ODI skipper. Look, if he wants to carry on as T20I skipper, as Test skipper, then fair enough. You know, let's see how the Tour of Australia and other tours go. He might want to continue. But I think as ODI skipper, after that World Cup debacle, look, finishing fifth in the group, people will say, oh, yeah, that's about Pakistan's standard at the moment. But Pakistan is a proud cricketing nation. Pakistan are former World Cup winners. Pakistani cricket fans expect their team to win. They don't go there as a team that's just there to make the numbers up. And I'm afraid Pakistan this time around, under the captaincy of Babar Azam, were a team that won 4, lost 5 games, at the most at any World Cup ever by Pakistan, and they were just making up the numbers. I'm afraid that's not good enough. I think Babar needs to start enjoying his cricket again. To me, it didn't seem like he was enjoying his cricket. And I think for him to start enjoying his cricket, he needs to give up the captaincy. And I think he will, if he gives up the ODI captaincy, we'll see a different Babar Azam. We'll see the Babar Azam of old. We'll see somebody going for his shots. We'll see somebody who is enjoying his cricket, who's enjoying being out on the field with his teammates without the pressure of captaincy. I think Pakistani captains, as I say, rarely walk away from the captaincy, from any captaincy. They have to be pushed. But I think Babar Azam, for the betterment of yourself and for the betterment of Pakistan cricket, it's better if you step down as ODI captain. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. Please do share your comments and your feedback, and look out for the next video. Thank you very much for your time.